when I tell you that this is the biggest announcement for World of Warcraft we have ever had at BlizzCon, I truly mean it. There is not one, not two, not three, but 5 new, technically, expansions announced for live, retail, and classic. This is insane. Whether you've already watched it, whether you've missed it all, I'm going to give you a complete news recap on all of the exciting updates coming to World of Warcraft, retail and classic, and that's right, Classic Plus, that is coming soon to, well, a Battle.net launcher near you. So let's just jump straight into this. I am so hyped to be filming this, you wouldn't believe. This is truly the return of a Metzian Warcraft storytelling era. So starting off with retail, there is 3 new expansions. This is going to be called the World Soul Saga. And it's all about the Titan Azeroth, I think, waking up. It's going to be over 3 entire expansions and to be one huge linear story, which is just what we all want, right? So the first one is going to be The War Within, and this is coming out next year in 2024. This is going to be the first part of the World Soul Saga, and it's going to see us going off the western coast of Pandaria to Khaz-Algar, the Dwarven continent, with most of this happening underground. And going into the core of Azeroth itself, where the beating heart of the World Soul is under attack. Then, secondly, we have World of Warcraft Midnight. And this is going to be entirely Void-themed, with the forces of the Void invading Azeroth in an attempt to plunge the light from the Sunwell. And we need to help unify the Elven tribes to stand with the light. Yes, this does mean a return to Quell Falas. Now, one of the questions I think this is going to raise is, old world regeneration? Can we still go to the old world? Will it be like Silithus, where you can see different time zones? I think the thing that this is going to be interesting with is for new players, especially, where, you know, are we going to be able to switch between these new and old same zones? Or is it just going to be the new ones, like it was when we had Cataclysm? You know, I think this is going to be really interesting because the world is getting, you know, ever bigger and bigger. And then third and finally, there is World of Warcraft The Last Titan. This is going to be the 12th expansion in World of Warcraft, and it's the final chapter of the World Soul Saga. This is going to have us returning to both the old world, as in Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, I assume, and also Northrend, which is very, very exciting. More on that in a second. In this expansion, we're going to be returning, and not just us, the Titans as well, to Ulduar. That's right, the Titans are returning to Azeroth. We are witnessing that return, and we're going to be covering a vast conspiracy which will stretch throughout the history of the world itself. And it's going to challenge everything you think you know. That's right, everyone. Get your chronicles and put them in the bin, because it's all changing, apparently. The Titans and the intentions of the true nature of Azeroth itself will be revealed. This literally is like blowing my mind. When I was watching this last night live with my friends, like my jaw was on the literal ground, okay? There is also, as we were all expecting, Cataclysm Classic being launched, and you know, there's going to be a few small changes. I'll be going over an overview of this later in this video. Not much to be said right here. You know, we were all expecting it, but the big thing that we're excited about is Classic Season of Discovery, i.e. Classic Plus. Now, this has got some really interesting features coming, and it's sooner than you think. Again, more on that one later in this video. There is also going to be World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore coming in early 2024 with a self-found mode. If you're thinking, what the hell is self-found mode? It's Iron Man. No trading, no mailboxes, no auction house. I think for a lot of hardcore players, not me, I don't play hardcore, this is going to be a massive change, giving, you know, more scope to really be hardcore, I guess. Now, if you are excited for the first expansion coming next year for retail, The War Within, you can already pre-purchase it. And it's got a few controversial changes, I will say. So if you get the base edition of the pre-purchase, you are actually going to get, of course, the War Within expansion. You are also going to get the base edition of Dragonflight. If you already own Dragonflight, you won't get another copy that you can give to a friend, etc. It's just a nice way of them saying, I guess, if you don't have Dragonflight, you can just get them both together now, so that you don't end up spending double the money over the next 12 months. You get an enhanced level 70 character boost. And when I say enhanced, this is going to come with end game ready upgraded gear. I'm not sure on the eye level. If you do want to find out, join my Discord, because I'm actually just going to purchase this later. I'm going to get the highest edition and upgrade my warrior. So I'll let you know how that turns out. You're apparently also going to get reputation progress and more, apparently. So that's actually going to be quite interesting. I think that's the furthest they've ever gone with a level boost, so I'm excited for that. You're also going to get, and here's the controversial bit, 500 traders tender. Okay, so for spending that in the trading post, that's off the base edition. If you then get the heroic edition, which is the next one up, you're going to get an extra 250 traders tender for a total of 750 traders tender. This is, of course, going to include everything in the base edition. You're then going to get that beautiful Algarian Storm Rider mount that you can see in the center of the screen here. And this does come with dynamic flying. So they are actually enrolling, or rolling out, should I say, a lot more mounts, our normal mounts, that is, hundreds of them, I've been told, into dragon riding. Dragon riding now being called dynamic flying because it isn't just dragons. Now, you are going to actually get color variations of this and access to special race courses, apparently. Very interesting. And the Storm Riders attire transmog set, which can actually be upgraded, the transmog set that is, by doing these special races. That's very interesting. The mount itself has 4 color variants, and you can customize it just as you can customize your dragon riding mounts at the moment, which I think is really, really cool. You know, I remember back in the day pre-purchasing Shadowlands and things like that, and you just got like a mount and transmog. They are going a lot more all out with this at the moment, so I am quite pleased with this. The transmog set can be upgraded with the completion of special race courses available with the Algarian Storm Rider. Doesn't say if that means you can do it with other mounts as well. I'm not sure if it has to be the Algarian Storm Rider. Either way, not a big deal. And like I said, it also includes an extra 250 traders tender, which is 750. If you then get the Epic Edition, you're going to get another 250 traders tender, bringing that up to 1,000. That's going to include everything I've just discussed. You're going to have guaranteed beta access to the War Within. Now, that isn't to say, and they're not specifying here, if you can get beta access without that. I think you probably will be able to. This just guarantees you beta access. And you are also going to get 3 days early access to the War Within expansion, meaning launch day for you is actually 3 days earlier. You're also going to get 30 days of game time. Now, this for me is a big thing, because if you already have your mindset on the Heroic Edition, you might as well, in my opinion, get the Epic Edition. It's $20 more, but obviously $10 of that is your 30 game time you're getting for free. So technically, you're getting 3 days early access, guaranteed beta access if you want it. You're getting Squally, the Storm Hatchling pet, the Sandbox Storm Griffin toy, and the Deep Dweller's Urban Hearthstone effect, and another 250 traders tender, all for just technically $10 more, because the 30 days free game time is like the other $10 that you would have spent anyway. That's how I see it. So if you're going to get at least the Heroic Edition, you might as well get the Epic Edition, in my opinion. Okay, so now that we've gone through what's actually coming out, let's look at some amazing quality of life features they're bringing out. And when I say quality of life, I really mean, think of it as right now we are living in the sort of war-torn slums of, Outland Shatrath, and in the War Within, with the quality of life upgrades, we're going to be living in Suramar in the Nighthold with all our Nightwells and stuff. That's the kind of difference we're talking here. Now, starting off with warbands. Now, this means that you're going to be able to link characters together in your Battle.net account into a warband as seen here. And they did say in a blue post, you're expanding the potential of your alts with warbands. You can enjoy account-wide progression with all characters in the Battle.net account. So I don't know if this is going to be cross-faction or not, but it does say Battle.net account, and it is regardless of faction at least. and that is going to include the War Within Renown. So when it specifically says War Within Renown, my first thinking here is, well, what about our other reputations? They have mentioned reputation, so I'm really intrigued to see if that's going to be all of our past reputations. If you're like me, I have mainly a main character for each expansion, which has them all exalted, but then it's fragmented, and you've got to have a spreadsheet, and it's a whole situation. So I really, really fingers crossed, hoping they're going to do this for all prior reputations, please. Otherwise, I won't be happy. A warband bank and achievements and more, apparently. The bank is a huge upgrade. I'm really hoping there's gold sharing as well, because it's just so annoying. And a new change to transmog collection will let players learn the experience of any gear type, even if they can't equip it. More on that in a second. So another big thing they're kind of bringing in, which will be available really just for the War Within expansion, so from level 71 to 80, yes, 80 is the new level cap, is hero talents. So the way it's going to work is there's 1 talent per level from 71 to 80, 10 talents in total with several choice nodes, which does mean that at level 80, you will be able to select every single one. It just depends in which order you get them up to level 80. And it's going to be extremely low friction for respecking and tree swapping, same as how it is now with the hero talents included. That will be outside Mythic Plus raiding. You can just quickly swap them around how you like. And this is how it's going to look. So this is an example of a warrior. And the way it's going to work is that there is 3 different paths, and each 2 specs share 2 paths. Put it simply, protection can have Mountain Fane or Colossus, arms can have Colossus and Slayer, and Fury can have Mountain Fane and Slayer. So it works in a triangle. If you're a druid or a demon hunter, it's going to work a bit differently. We haven't seen how yet. However, they have shown us this example of a balanced druid. This is how it's going to look. So you can see here, as a balanced druid, you've got Keeper of the Grove or Alloon's Chosen. Alloon's Chosen? Alloon's Chosen. So it starts off with 1 talent that you can choose at the top, 3 different branches, and then 1 at the bottom. Again, at level 80, you're going to have them all anyway, so that's fine. And then this is how it's going to look on the main talent page itself, where it's going to be in the middle here. And this is how it looks at a more succinct sort of, compact fashion. Touching back onto the transmogs. Now, this is a bit confusing how they've explained it, so I'm going to make it as not confusing as possible. Basically, at the moment, if you are going into an old raid on your mage and you're trying to get a set for your mage, you may get no loot and it's all plate. And you think, for goodness sake, I could have come on my warrior and got all that. But then you'd have to come on your warrior separately or come back next week on your mage, etc., etc. And if you are like me and have an alt of every class on each faction, then, it takes a long time to get those transmogs and can be a really arduous task. So how it's going to work is now, if you go in on your mage and plate items drop, and you think, oh well, I didn't get anything for my mage, the plate items that drop, you will actually unlock those for your plate-wearing characters. So no, your mage can now not be bumbling around in actual plate gear, but if you get plate items drop on your mage, when you then log on to your plate characters, those transmogs will be unlocked on them to wear. Meaning you can just go to each raid each week and get the loot and be unlocking, probably like quadruple the speed of transmogs for all your characters. This is humongous, and I feel like we have been asking for this for so long. So thank you, Blizzard, for that. And then another thing is cross-realm guilds. Now, additionally, the restrictions on cross-realm mythic raiding from day 1 is now unlocked. If you didn't know, cross-faction raiding was allowed in Shadowlands patch 9.2.5, and then the cross-faction guilds became a feature in Dragonflight 10.1. I'm sorry, I've got a really sore throat, by the way. I have a really bad cold. My wisdom teeth over here are like giving me stress. I'm, up to the high heavens on my Bonjela to film this video. So please subscribe because I'm not feeling well. I'm really trying my hardest. So the next step is going to continue to break down barriers for players with cross-server communities able to raid with each other. And there's no content restricted, allowing for greater flexibility when choosing servers, factions, and guilds. This is amazing. So now that we've gone through the quality of life, let's actually look at the main event, okay? The main content being added with the War Within. So the first thing we're going to get is a new allied race, which is the Arven. And here are the customizations for them. Here, what they're going to look like. These are going to be available both to Horde and Alliance, just like the Pandaren are. And these are Titan Forge races, or it's a Titan Forge race, should I say, made of living stone imbued with the essence of Azeroth's world soul itself. And I must say, they look absolutely amazing. They really, really do. And then, of course, where are these Arven living? Well, Kaz Algar. That's right. All of the leaks you've seen are true. So the continent itself is Kaz Algar, and it's off the western coast of Pandaria, most of it being beneath the earth. So the first zone is the Isle of Dawn. Now, this region encompasses the surface of Kaz Algar. It's a lush, verdant paradise, and it's the source of the Cinder Brunei, manufactured from the molten honey of enormous fiery bees. And you can sort of see, I think those are like maybe their hives in some of the trees there that we can see. I'm not sure. It's obviously a lot of dwarven architecture. It's very, verdant and lush. I mean, look at it. It's absolutely stunning. Then we have these amazing stormy, fiery sort of peaks here. The Roost at Stormwatch is the home of wild elemental rooks, and their home features fierce winds and lightning-weathered peaks. Again, here you can see the dwarven architecture and the peaks here. I mean, it is absolutely stunning, very, very unique. The Isle of Dawn is where you're going to find the surface-dwelling Arven of Kaz Algar. There are 3 different factions. There is the Oathsworn, who live in a great walled city, still serving the edicts of the Titans. And this city is going to be, this might be a picture of it here, I'm not actually sure, but this is going to be the actual capital city of the expansion. Then we have the Unbound, and they live near their old labouring grounds, which I think is going to maybe look a bit like this. If you remember back in Cataclysm, I can't remember, it's where the big purple raid was. I'm not sure if that's, if you remember, but anyway, it looks a bit like this. Though the places they once worked are in despair. And then there's another faction, I can't remember the name of them, but they have actually like gone and kind of forgotten the edicts of the Titans. I don't know if they're kind of a bit more evil or not. But there's obviously some politics going on between, the different dwarven factions here. Next up, we have the Ringing Deeps. This is beneath the Isle of Dawn, and it's where the Arven work on their underground foundries and maintain immense Titan mechanisms. Some parts of it are exposed to the sky, causing plants and above-ground creatures, like you can see here, like that cute little green frog, actually making their way down into the Ringing Deeps. You can see here, it's very lush and verdant still, just beneath the Isle of Dawn. The Machine Speaker Arven, that must be the other faction that I forgot, that work in the deeps have to contend with the pesky kobold invaders, led by none other than the Candle King, which I think there's going to be a whole dungeon around it. This sounds awesome. Kobolds, candles, we love it. Then we have Hallowfall, which is deeper still. This is beneath the Ringing Deeps and is bordered by an endless underground sea. The Arathi live here beneath the glow of an enormous crystal. Now, this is their architecture here. They're very holy, paladin-like, and they use the holy flame. This is the crystal they live beneath, which gives them, light. And even though it's underground, the whole idea is that it doesn't feel like it's underground, which I'm very happy about. I don't want all underground zones that feel really claustrophobic. So they have this enormous crystal that gives them light, and they're fighting for their survival against the encroaching Nerubians. That's right, the Nerubians are back, and there's a huge, huge, huge focus on the Nerubians in this first expansion. They have these big Arathi airships that travel between Hallowfall's plateaus, connecting the scattered settlements in an attempt to spread the holy flame. The Hallowfall cavern is so immense that it will be hard to remember at times that you're deep beneath the surface of Kaz Algar. The crystal provides light enough for plants and animals alike, and although in recent years it had started to go dark at times, and there was a video of this and it almost glows purple, the void, that's right, no doubt some of the problems we'll be facing. Then, here's another picture of it here and some of their settlements. Really, really, really beautiful zones. And then we're going to go down into the last and final, the 4th zone, which is the deepest yet, Aj Kahet. This is the deepest depths of Khazalgar in the Nerubian city Freds. Ashgahet is an ancient dwelling of the Nerubians and has been built upon its own ruins. So as it kind of, falls apart, they build on top of it and they just keep on going. Causing the city to grow ever higher with each new district. This allows the wealthiest and most favoured of the Nerubians, which is by their queen, to command prize locations at the highest reaches of Ashgahet. It's home not only to the Nerubians, but a wide variety of domesticated insects that serve as beasts of burden and pets to them. And you can see here the armies of the Nerubians, etc. Very scary. To traverse the Nerubian lands without trouble will require apparently skill and the use of pheromones, and obviously bravery. Apparently the Nerubians are collecting the black blood of the old gods themselves for some, nefarious means. Apparently the Nerubians are collecting this, and they're also partnering up with none other than Xal'atath, the Blade of the Black Empire herself. That's right, she's coming for us. So this is going to be the big new, the raid and everything is going to be focused around here. There are new Nerubian models, and we can see here, these are some of the other kind of creatures that have managed to live down here in their little leafy, thorny homes. It's really cute. And this is more of the Nerubian Empire, and some more pictures here. These are the new models of the Nerubians. It's all very detailed. And apparently Xal'atath herself has actually been empowering. So they are led by, the Nerubians are led by their queen. And Xal'atath has been empowering them with, old god powers, which obviously they're living life, living their best lives down there with all their newfound powers, partnering up with Xal'atath. And that's actually going to be the first raid, which I'll get onto in a minute. These models are all absolutely amazing. This 1 second from the right, I'm not sure if that's the queen. The one on the far right, I think this is, all these extra arms and stuff. I think this is like when they've got their new powers, etc. I'm not entirely 100% sure. But yeah, here are the new models. There is going to be 8 new dungeons. So you've got 4 from 71 to 80. The Rookery, the Stone Vault, the Priory of the Sacred Flame, very Arathi focused, and the City of Freds, Nerubian, of course. And then 4 at max level. The Cinderbrew Meadery, which is, how I said about these big lavery beads. That's how they make their mead from those. That'll be like that. The Dark Flame Cleft, not sure about that. And then the Dawnbreaker and the Old City. One of these I think is very Candle Kobold focused. And here's a picture of that here, which is really awesome. And here's some more. This might be the Meadery or something else. I'm not sure which ones these are, but some really cool pictures here. And then this is going to be the first raid, the Nerubar Palace. Now, it's kind of going to be a winged raid, but also not. So this picture we've got on the left here, you can see you go in, a boss, then you go into like a stalagmite area with some other bosses in the stalactite wing. And then you go up for another boss into the second kind of wing area with one over here, and then straight on to the second last boss and then the final. I'm not sure if the final boss is going to be Xal'atath. I don't think they've named the bosses yet, or if it's going to be like the Nerubian Queen, or what's happening with that. But it's an 8-boss raid. And this is going to be the culmination between the storyline between the Nerubian Empire, their queen, and Xal'atath. This is a top-down view, and it's going to take heavy inspiration from Nerubian architecture and will have more vertical progress when compared to other dungeons and raids. Now, that's not all. The Great Vault is coming with us into the next expansion with a new system, so an extra row on the Great Vault, weekly progress bar, which is delves. Now, this is actually going to scale from between 1 to 5 players. So you can do it on your own. You can do it with you and one other person, 2 other people, all the way up to a normal 5-man group. You are also going to be accompanied by an NPC. Now, in Season 1, they have announced this is going to be Bran himself. Deep beneath the surface lies treasure vaults waiting to be discovered. Explore these world instances solo or with up to 4 friends, so up to 5 in total, with your NPC companion. They want to extend Dragonflight philosophies and focus on, evergreen content, etc. So it looks like this is going to be a continuing thing with Delves. Very interesting. I do like it when they have a little bit of solo content, I must say. And that is it. That is all of the main focuses, the main features for WoW Retail. Now, let's get on to Classic. Not something I play myself, but with some of these features coming up, I think I will be. So, First things first, they are adding Cataclysm. Woohoo! We all expected it, okay? You know, pretty normal. Now, if you want, you can actually get a heroic or an epic upgrade edition for this as well, which I don't think is as worth it as the retail versions are whatsoever. But if you want to know what you get, the heroic upgrade, which is for $29.99, includes a Lil Rathian pet for both WoW Classic and retail, the Avatar of Flame flying mount for Classic, and a rune-bound Firelord flying mount for retail, which does look pretty cool. Am I going to buy this for $30? Probably not. Unless this video goes viral and I make loads of money. But that probably won't happen. So, you know, won't be getting that. And you are also going to get the Hammer Regalia Transmog set and Town in a Box starter set toy. And then the epic upgrade includes everything, plus a level 80 character boost and 30 gays a day. 30 days of game time, not 30 gays of gay time. So if you haven't played Classic back in the day, here's what you can kind of expect. A quick brief overview. There's a new dungeon difficulty system. There's easy LFG, account-wide mounts, pets, and T-Mogs, and it's a streamlined, better auction house. There's goblins and worgons. Again, if you haven't played Cata back in the day, the starting zones are phenomenal, especially the worgon one. It's amazing. New level cap of 85. Customization for all classes, all races is a pretty good overhaul. There's new dungeons and raids, of course. There's all the elemental planes happening and new expansion zones taking you back into core, you know, Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms with a complete overhaul of all the classic zones. So moving on from that, very soon on the 30th of November, that is going to be the World of Warcraft Classic Season of Discovery, which is crazy. God, I think I'm a bit over dramatic, but it is pretty exciting. Classic Season of Discovery. Now, this is really, really interesting, and this is Classic Plus, and I mean it, okay? So there's going to be no PTR testing, comes out on the 30th of November, and it's going to start off with a level 25 level cap, and it's going to increase over a period of time, starting with a new raid. Well, I say new raid, yeah. Black Fathom Deeps is being remade into a raid, which is here. They have also hinted at, you can see here, a picture of the Scarlet Monastery, and I believe that picture on the right is from Nomagun, and they have also teased at the Karazhan Crypts. So if you're thinking, oh, okay, they're just redoing Black Fathom Deeps, this isn't really new content, I'm assuming Scarlet Monastery may be a new raid as well coming, a Nomagun, which, yes, is redone, you know, content that already is there, and I think there's going to be small level cap increases with each one of these, if this is how it goes. And Karazhan Crypts, however, would be totally new. And it is in Eastern Kingdoms, you know, in Deadwind Pass. So that is going to be pure new content. So this is Classic Plus, you know. And if you are feeling critical about this, remember, this is a whole new thing. And this is the start of it. So they're probably wanting to put feelers out and not go too crazy yet to see what the feedback from the player base is. There is also the new rune system and discovery system. So this is what it looks like here, which is very, very interesting. New runes that kind of add to your abilities, etc. And you can see some more here. This is the discovery system, so you can discover these runes with exploring and in dungeons, and there's another secret way apparently they haven't announced yet. They're hidden secrets with the inspiration focused heavily on exploration and adventure and social interaction. Yeah, so just an overview here of this. Some formally provided, it's going to provide some formally faction specific buffs. Interesting. Reduced talent respec cost and more. Additional rune slots unlock over time. And there's 3 slots at level 25, which will be the current cap, which is chest, legs, and hands. And you can apply new abilities to equipment and swap any time. So you can be like a mage healer, a warlock tank, and more things like that. It'll be very, very interesting. Some of the examples are here, like Wild Growth being added to your gloves, Fury of Storm Rage, and Skull Bash. And then again here for a priest, you've got Prayer of Mending, Penance, and Homam Shulai, and things like that. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I'd love to hear your comments on how you think this is going to go. But again, 30th of November, it's coming soon. And here's another example here for the Hunter. And finally, self-found mode is coming to World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore. This is meaning Iron Man. So pretty simply put, early 2024, we're getting no mailboxes, no AH, no trading, you are on your own. I'm assuming you can still obviously go to raids and dungeons with people, you just can't trade or do anything like that. So this is huge, 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 huge news. I hope you guys are as just excited as I am. I hope this covered everything you wanted to know about all of the upcoming changes. I was very excited to share this. Please do subscribe because I will have more updates coming soon. And if you are going to be playing Retail 10.2, I'm going to have some specialization guides coming out for that with the new update. So, yes, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your thoughts are. And we're all going to be discussing this in my Discord today and tomorrow as BlizzCon continues. So feel free to join and discuss that with us. Thanks for watching and have a great time if you're at BlizzCon or watching it.